Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Hopefully, you're looking forward to the weekend like I am. I wanted to reach out to you real quick and talk about risk assessments. My marketing manager was out at lunch this week, and some folks asked her some very interesting questions and made a couple of interesting statements. One was, aren't we more at risk if we have risk assessments? Because now we know what issues we have, so therefore we're more at risk. And the other statement was, well, I have an IT guy. Surely that's taken care of. Those two things I really want to address. One, if you don't do a risk assessment, you're still just as liable, if not more, because you have not done one. Reason why is there's data protection and data privacy laws that says you must be protecting people's information. If you don't do a risk assessment to know whether you are or not, you're just as liable as if you have done a risk assessment and do nothing. Both ways. Insurance companies, if you don't do a risk assessment to see where you sit, these days, they typically won't even write you a cybersecurity policy. If you put a policy and you ask the questionnaire and you say you've done it, because you think IT is taking care of that, but you really don't know, and then something happens, the first thing they're going to look at is, what is your cybersecurity posture? This is the information you told me you did, but you didn't do it. You're on your own. And there could be civil penalties associated with that. So why is it important to do the risk assessment? Are you more liable if you do it? Absolutely not. Actually, it helps you if you do the risk assessment. Now, you do that risk assessment, let's talk about the things that you find. Obviously, if you find things that needs to be fixed, now obviously that can have budget implications to you, right? But when you do those risk assessments and you find the things you can fix, 9 times out of 10, we're finding things that can be fixed real easy and go do. Typically, it's things are not patched like they're supposed to be. Firmware updates to be applied. Misconfiguration of environment, you can easily go fix. But the things it finds that you need to fix but you can't spend the money on right now to go fix, that's where plan of action and milestone comes into play. Is you document these things. Hey, we've identified, we know this issue. Here's what we're going to do, and here's our plan that we're going to try and do this. Hey, we don't have the budget for this right now, but we're going to plan this budget out to go take care of these things one by one by one, to go do them and get them done. That actually helps minimize your liability because you're showing what's called best effort. Best effort is very important. So do the risk assessments, know where you stand so you know what your best efforts need to be. By doing that, you're way far ahead and less liable than if you just don't do them at all. Because not doing them is basically saying you're ignoring it. Therefore, you're not doing your best effort. Therefore, you are liable. Okay? So it's very important you do them. Now, let's talk about the second thing. Hey, I got IT. Surely they're doing it. As a business owner, you need to know what your IT is doing. Are they doing the right things? Because if they're not doing it, yes, based on laws and some of the things that's changed here in the last few years, if it's a MSP doing it, as soon as you sign a contract with them, they have what's called shared responsibility and shared liability. So if they're not doing something, they have responsibility, but that does not relinquish the liability you have, whether it's internal IT or external IT. If you're looking at for something, surely they're doing it, and then something happens, it still comes back to you as the business owner. It's your ultimate responsibility. You're the fiduciary responsible person. So I highly recommend getting risk assessments done. Know where you stand. Figure out there's a lot of things you can go fix real easy, and know what you need to fix and put a plan to it that you can apply budget to when you need to and when you can. But not doing them and putting a blind eye to it is probably the worst thing you can do. So if you got questions, reach out to us. We'll put our information in there. Give me a call. Book on my calendar. Love to have the conversation. And let's get rid of this myth about and this worry about I'm got more liability if I do the risk assessment. It's exactly the opposite. So let's get that taken care of. Let's help you. Let's make sure you're protected and you know where you stand, so you don't have to worry about what comes if you don't. I hope this helps. I'll be more than happy to share more information. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.